got 5 questions to ask you.
All right, let's
First
do
of
it.
all, what advice would you give to investors that are trying to get started today?
I think my biggest piece of advice to a new investor is not to compare yourself to others. Find what you want to do and go after that. Don't chase the squirrels.
So one direction, go after it.
For the first 3 or 4 years, get proficient in something before you start chasing other rabbits. It just it's not, there's so many different avenues in real estate, but I think you get in and learn what you're interested in the beginning, and then you can start adding in the notes and the options and so many different rabbit holes that you can go down in real estate, and it can get overwhelming, and then cause you to get discouraged and quit if you're chasing too many at one time.
Absolutely. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Or keep it simple,
Yeah.
super simple. The KISS method.
Yeah, and also I would say too, if you're flipping houses, you need to be in there. I personally feel that you need to be in there doing some of the work. I feel like you need to know how to do some of these things. It's important to know. I have a construction background. I've built new houses, so I know how houses are built before I even open a wall. I know where the studs are going to be. I know where the wires are going to be. I know where pipes are more than likely going to be. I know where a header will be, and I know where load-bearing walls are. But because I've been around it. Yeah. But if you're not around it and you're taking the word of somebody else, it's real easy for them to take advantage of you. And I've seen it happen.
And there's also ways that if you're flipping a house and a contractor says, "Yeah, we can do this," and you do it, and you could be very liable for certain things that might go wrong with that house in the future.
Sure.
So absolutely be careful with that. All right. So number 2, do you have any YouTube or podcast shows that you would recommend to our listeners? And listen, it can be yours if you want to do that.
Well, of course. YouTube, Mike does. Got some of our builds and some of the things we're doing. I'm getting ready to take off on the Appalachian Trail next month. I'm going to document some of that. Just Mike does a little bit of everything, and Mike does have fun.
There you go. I like that. We'll put that link in our show notes. That way people they don't have to.
Sounds good. We are working on a podcast, so that podcast will be up probably first of the year. So I don't
do you have a name for it yet?
I've got a few ideas, but I haven't put a name to it yet.
All right, we'll hold off. We'll hold off for now. We don't want to get it out. Yeah, there we go. We'll have a big unveiling for it. I love it. So if you had to pick one book you feel made the biggest impact on your life, what would it be?
One of my goals was to listen to 52 books this year, so they've all been great. I'm trying to do one a week, but It Takes What It Takes, Trevor Moawad, and 12 and a Half by Gary Vee. That one, golly, I wasn't always a big Gary Vee fan, but the more I listen to him, the more I love him. But that 12 and a Half is really great.
I have to get that. I've not heard of that book, so I'm gonna have to get that.
Yeah, it's full of intention and action steps. If you take them, it's crazy.
12 and a half. Okay, I'm gonna go get that book today.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, so question number 4. What do you feel has been your secret sauce to your success?
I feel like I've been very good at chasing the cheese. I don't know if you've read the book Who Moved the Cheese, but I feel like I've done a pretty good job of knowing where the cheese is moving and trying to stay ahead of it and trying to move out of businesses before it's oversaturated. Just like the dumpster business. We started that as it was kind of a new thing to pull a trailer that had a roll-off dumpster on it. We built that up to 25 dumpsters, 25 cans, and then about the time we sold, everybody and their brother was buying dumpster trailers and starting their own dumpster businesses. It's just, and then so just moving into the next thing. We started on the unique short-term rentals a couple of years ago, and now Airbnb is putting out $10 million to design the next 100 unique short-term rentals. So just trying to stay ahead of the game and anticipating those moves. And that's kind of been where we've stayed. I try to continually move and shift as the market shift and stay. And same thing with rehabbing. I quit rehabbing houses a couple of years ago and went more to the new construction because there's fewer people doing it. now more and more starting to build. We're shifting off the building and, focusing more on the short-term rentals. And so that's just continually look for the next opportunities and take action when you see them.
So the identifying where the cheese may be, or identifying that the cheese is moving.
Yeah.
And then taking action.
Yep.
That next step, no one has the crystal ball to say, this is the next big thing. But just taking action. Yeah. Taking action into a different endeavor. And maybe you were the trender starter. Maybe you're the trend starter.
I won't say that. I take, if I notice somebody else doing something interesting, I'm very good at taking and recognizing that. But I'm not the starter.
What Big Mike does is he takes a really good idea and he just blows them out of the water. He's like, yeah, that was a great idea, but let me show you how I'm going to do it 10 times better. I'm just tooting your horn here. All right, number 5. Here we go. So how can our listeners get in touch with you, follow you, and your journey?
All right. Let's see. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Facebook, Michael Hicks. Instagram and TikTok, Find Your Repurpose.
Okay.
And on YouTube at Mike Does.
And you mentioned it briefly, but also you do have a couple of episodes on TV on A&E, right? What show is that on?
So A&E Living Smaller featured 2 of our tiny homes this past summer. So we're on there. I can't remember the episode number, but we've got 2 of our container homes on A&E.